I'm definitely nervous, but I really do like the energy that Kamala Harris's campaign is putting out. The positivity that comes from it is something this country really needs.
I am really interested and excited about the election. Grateful that we have the occasion to let our voices be heard. A little nervous about the outcome because there's so many people who have so many different points of view about what is the vision for our country moving forward. But I'm here because I believe Kamala Harris has a vision for our future that includes so many people who would be left out if the other candidate were to win.
I'm hoping that this is a turning page because we've seen this throughout history, how a party is taken over by a radical view. We can go back to the 40s, the 50s, and 60s, but in my lifetime, not that long ago, almost 20 years ago, the Tea Party took over the Republican Party. Now we have a mega movement that is loyal to one person, not the party. So I'm hoping that after this, we can finally turn that page, get back to normal politics.
I'm an optimist naturally, but I also understand that people know the consequences of another Trump presidency, and they also can very clearly see how qualified Kamala Harris is. And people have questions about what kind of leader she's going to be. There's no question about what kind of leader Trump will be because we've already seen him in action.
A little nervous, but excited, really excited to see our next woman president, or our first woman president. And we are really, really proud because she was raised by a Tamil mom, and we were all raised by Tamil moms. So I think she's really, really special.
Martin Luther King said, "Our lives begin to end the minute we become silent about things that matter." And democracy matters, and that's why I'm here.
I'm feeling very hopeful, especially since it was announced that Harris was running. I've just been filled with excitement and hope for our generation, especially in terms of women's rights and climate policies.
My biggest issue is just preservation of democracy. I'm very scared by the things Trump has said recently in regards to, what was it he said about the enemies from within. That's terrifying. It reminds me of this quote that when fascism comes to America, it will come wrapped in a flag carrying a cross.
I spent 20 years in the military, and now I'm spending another 20 years as a Department of Defense, and we are loyal, and we take an oath to the Constitution. When we hear that Project 2025 wants to change and divert that Constitution, and when I hear that my job is in jeopardy because of a president, that if I'm not loyal to that president, I can lose my job, that's very serious to me. So that's why I stand here today.
I'm driven by the need for better housing, more affordable housing, the need for more jobs, and not just taking care of the middle class, but also making sure that people who are low income, that they are also thriving as well.
That her focus on the middle class and people really lifting everybody up, unifying the country, really looking to everybody for solutions. She's very pragmatic and practical, and I think she's really inspiring as well.
I'm thinking housing as a top priority for a young voter, and I think Kamala Harris has a real plan to solve the housing shortages that we're seeing. Donald Trump hasn't said any plans about anything.
I think violence is inevitable at this point. If Kamala wins, I believe Democrats are sensible enough to not storm the Capitol if Trump wins, of course. But I worry what happens if Kamala wins.
One of the things that I think is in favor of a peaceful transition of power is just that because of January 6th, we now see what's possible, so we can prepare for the worst with a little bit more information about what the worst might look like.
Being here today at this spot where January 6th had basically taken over, I don't think that the punishment was severe enough to make Americans understand that you can't do that.
I'm hoping that we've learned our lesson from the last time, and I'm hoping that the people who have the power to make it a peaceful election will, namely Donald Trump and his cronies, I'm hoping that they tell their people that they should accept the results because there's no benefit in lying to the American people, and there's no benefit in falsifying election records.
Oh, I'm not confident at all. We've already seen what this country can do. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that the better nature of folks will prevail, and also that people are vigilant to make sure that things don't get out of hand.
We know what happened before. And I rather suspect that there are going to be people who are going to try to subvert the vote, but I'm confident that given that experience, there are checks and balances in place that may stave it all, but I do expect that we're going to have trouble.
I'm hopeful because, you know, I think that's what you have to be. So I'm not scared. Hopefully there'll be a peaceful transfer of power.